If you're looking to build a new gaming PC and you're on a budget but you don't know which processor you should get, you came to the right place, because today I will show you 4 different CPUs that I recommend you buying if you're on a budget, all of these being under 200 bucks, and at the end I will give a bonus mention, so make sure to watch this whole thing because these processors are different from each other and are meant for different type of budgets. I will explain really important stuff if you want to do some content creation, streaming as well, so it's really important for you to keep watching this video. You will have all of these CPUs down below in the description, as well with gaming PCs that I do recommend you buying for different type of budget. Without further ado, let's start. With the first one and the cheapest one on the list, for 70 bucks you can get the i3 10100F. This is a 4-core 8-thread processor, which is the bare minimum for gaming. Now if you're looking to do a lot of streaming, content creation, then this is not the right one for you, but if you're on a really tight budget, you want to build a $500 gaming PC, let's say, this is actually a really solid processor and it's going to perform great at 1080p depending on the games that you play and the settings, and of course depending on the GPU. But if you want to play esports titles such as CSGO, Valorant, Fortnite at above 140 FPS, this processor will be able to handle that without any issues, and even games like GTA 5, which are easy to run at 1080p high settings, once again depending on the GPU, you will be able to run these games without any problems. Then for around $40 extra we have the i3 12100F, and this is 107 bucks, and let me tell you, this is the budget king right now. This is a much better processor than the i3 10100F. With this processor and the right GPU, you will be able to run even games at 1440p, even though for 1440p I recommend you another processor, but I will talk about that in a second. But if your main focus is 1080p, highest frame rates, only gaming, this is the right one for you. And my recommendation is still that if you want to do streaming and heavy content creation, go for something better that I will mention on this list. But if your main focus is gaming, you don't care about content creation and all of that stuff, then the i3 12100F is the best option for you, in my opinion, if you're working on a tight budget. And the GPU that you want to pair this with is something like the RX 6600 from AMD, or if you want to go for Nvidia, the RTX 2060. You don't want to buy the RTX 3050 right now for the price. The 2060 is much better in terms of price to performance. With the next one on the list, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5600 non-X version. This one is a 6-core 12-thread CPU, and if you want to do streaming, like I said before, this one is going to be the right one for you. In my opinion, is the starting point for streaming with good quality without losing much frame rate, and you can get away with the stock cooler as well, so you don't really have to buy an aftermarket CPU cooler if you want to get this one, or just any CPU of this list. Right now the Ryzen 5 5600X, it's around $40 more expensive, and I don't think that it's worth $40 more. For that reason, the 5600 is a much better option as of today, and trust me, you want to save up those 40 bucks to buy a better GPU instead of spending on the X version that is not going to give you that much performance. Now with this 5600, you can pair it with high-end GPUs up to the RTX 3080. My recommendation is going with something like the 3070 if you want to do some serious 1440p gaming, content creation and other stuff. However, the 3060 Ti is going to get the job done as well, and if you want to go for AMD and also get more frame rates, because you will have the option of the smart access memory from AMD, which is going to boost your FPS in some cases, then I recommend you going with at least the 6600 XT, but it's ideal for you to go with the 6700 XT, especially at 1440p with this CPU. And in my opinion, the best one on a budget on the list is the i5 12400F. Now there's a difference between the i5 12400F and the 12400. The 12400 comes with an iGPU. This means that it has integrated graphics that of course won't help you out while gaming, so if you're just going to buy a CPU for gaming, get the 12400F and save your money. But if you want to do some content creation, that iGPU is going to help you in video editing software, so keep that in mind. If you're going to work with content creation, spend those extra 20 bucks for the iGPU. Once again, you can pair this CPU with high-end GPUs up to the RTX 3080, but if you're thinking of getting the new 13th gen when they drop, I do recommend you going with the 12400F and then upgrade it later on, where if you get the Ryzen 5 5600, you cannot upgrade to next gen because they will use a new platform. The AM4 platform only supports up to the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, which was, I think, the latest one from AMD if I'm not mistaken. So if you want a great CPU under $200, that's also upgradable with the new gen CPUs. Go with the i5-12400F. You won't regret it. This is a great CPU, like I said before, even for high-end GPUs. But if you don't care about upgradability and you want the best performance right now, you want to save up money so you can get a better graphics card, then go with either the i3-12100F or the Ryzen 5 5600. Even though the 12100F it's also upgradable because you have the same motherboards as you have on the i5-12400F. And then if you're working on a really tight budget, you don't want to spend more than $600, get the i3-10100F. It's a really solid choice at 1080p. And the bonus GPU of this video is going to be the i5-10400F, which is another 6-core 12-thread processor at around $120. It's a little bit more expensive than the i3-12100F, but you get more cores and threads, so it will be better for multitasking and streaming. For gaming, both are really similar, but the i3-12100F, like I said, it's upgradable over time, where the i5-10400F, if you want to upgrade it, you can upgrade up to the i9-11900, but after that, if you want a newer generation than the 11th gen, you will need to get a new motherboard. With that being said, that was the list. If you found it helpful, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content, which I do from 3 to 5 times a week. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.